Ashley, would you like to share?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Steve, it's been really hard. I mean, not to piggyback off of everyone, because I feel like everyone's story, I identify with at least one point in everyone's story. Um, but I guess I'll start off by saying many times, like, you can see someone's life from the outside, and then there's certain things like from the exterior that look okay. And then when you're inside, it's like everything's falling apart. Right. So I had a pretty good, education growing up. I was at a private school in New York City for high school. I had that opportunity, um, coming from a low income background. And I, while on the exterior everything looked okay and I was at a great school, like my family life was kind of deteriorating. Like my parents were divorced. There was a lot of instability in the household. I was always back and forth between my mom's house and my dad's house. At one point I was living out of like cardboard boxes. All my stuff was just packed up, and that's how I lived because I didn't really have a stable place. And there was also some physical violence, emotional violence, abuse in my household. uh, and so I was in my junior year of high school, and I decided, ultimately, there's a lot of little details and drama behind it, but ultimately I ran away from home. And since I was underage, I actually ended up in foster care. Um, and I spent 6 months in foster care from 17 and a half until I was able to sign myself out at 18. Um, but I didn't graduate from that prestigious high school that I had the privilege to go to. I ended up getting my GED a year later, after when I was supposed to graduate. But I think during that time, it was so easy to just give up and just say, okay, I'm not going to finish high school. I'm not going to go to college. I'm just going to start working. But at that time, I was like, you know what? I need to do this. So I self-studied, did my GED, which is, I don't know if that's a unanimous term across the states or across the world, but that's basically your high school degree. Um, and I decided to go to college, and I started. And I think, through all of this, I'm going to graduate undergrad next year, thank God. And now, like, my next step is wanting to pursue law. So I'm just starting now, preparing for the LSAT, and um, starting the next step of my life. But I think one thing that kind of is persistent on my mind is my timeline, the timeline that I had for myself when I was growing up. Like, oh, I'm going to graduate in 2015. I'm going to, graduate from college 2019. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So I think breaking down that timeline and not getting frustrated with myself, and just, moving at the pace that I need to go to for my own sake and for my own mental health, I think has been really important on focusing on that. But Steve, thank you for the invitation, and I'm glad I was able to hear everyone else's stories.
Ashley, would you like to share?
Sure, I guess I'll just share an insight that I've learned along my journey. But I think it's nice to look back over our lives and just look at those moments that might be pain points for us. And I think we've all shared some of that on this call tonight. If you look back and see how that actually opened the door for you, either in a lesson or, a physical door, an opportunity, I think just being open and reflecting on that pain point in that way can really help our outlook. And, for example, me being in foster care, just because I was in foster care, I was able to go to college for free, and I got a full tuition ride, and they give me money to go to school. So I think just, and you could use that exercise in anything that you've been through. Just look at something that perhaps, like I said, is painful for you, but if you look at it and see how that's given you a unique perspective on life, or how that's really, opened your mind to be more empathetic to other people, there has to be something positive to take out of it. So I guess just I'll leave that on your minds. But again, like everyone has said, it's been such a privilege and an honor to be able to speak with you guys and hear your stories. So thank you again for being so vulnerable and open.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.